Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is T with the T. So I have a question for the Christian girls. I'm going to be speaking a little bit low because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. People are sleeping, so I'm trying to keep it low as possible. So if it sounds like I'm whispering at some point, that's the reason. So I have a question for my Christian community. What is going on with Christian marriages? It just seems like there's divorce left, right, and center, and I don't know what's happening. There are a lot of Christian girls that I used to watch back in the day. So they always have this prophetic story of how they meet their partner. It's always encouraging when you hear it. But then a couple of years down the line, the marriage is no longer. And it's like, what is happening? Is it that the men are using their free will too much? Is it a woman using their free will a bit too much that is causing the marriage to end? Is it that people don't have patience anymore? Is it that they never heard from God to begin with? I just don't know. It's confusing and it can be discouraging sometimes. One thing I can say, or one thing I can say that I have noticed is that I think we Christian girls, we tend to romanticize the process of meeting our godly spouse, as we say. I think we God-ify everything. I think we God-ify the whole process. Don't get me wrong. Yes, God needs to be involved in every process or in everything that we do. An example. So there was a time where, a friend of mine was fasting. I wasn't even, I was minding my business. A friend of mine was fasting and she was fasting about, spouse and stuff like that. She asked me to join. At that point, I wasn't even looking for anybody. That's the funny thing. But it was just the way she just randomly asked me. And literally the first day that we started fasting, I met this guy. And it was my type to the T. Like, my type to the T. But yeah, I'm not going to say too much because I'm not trying to expose myself just in case he ever sees this video. Yeah, no. So the way we met, it was just very, surreal and everything. So in my head, I thought, is this God answering my prayer? This is really quick. I continued fasting. So the fast was supposed to be 3 days, but I continued fasting. And one thing I always say is, oh God, if this person's for me, let me come across him again or whatever, and I will. And I will. So I saw that as a sign that, yeah, that must be the person for me. But for whatever reason, I just have this gut feeling that this person is either married or in a relationship. I don't know why. He never gave any sign that he's married. Don't get me wrong, he never asked me out, by the way. He never asked me out, nothing like that. It was just friendly. That was it. It was just friendly. But the process of how we met and the time that we met, in my head, I was like, he must be the one for me. He must be my husband. It must be the person that God was saying, and he was my type to the T. So I remember, I think I got to the point I was just frustrated because, again, he wasn't asking me out. It wasn't asking me out. It was just friendly. So I said to God, I was like, God, if this man, I was like, God, I am tired. It's been I think at that point it was 3 months. I said, God, if it's not the one for me, just make it clear because I am tired. I just want to love somebody outright. I just want to love it. It's like, if it's the one for me, then he needs to pursue me. But if it's not the one, then just let it go. Just, take him away from my life. And I remember that, I think it was the next day, middle of the night, on my business page. I was just scrolling through, on my business page, I was scrolling through, and I saw a girl. Again, I'm not going to go into details because I'm not going to expose myself. So I saw a girl and I saw something that she does. And I was like, oh, this is really nice. So I thought, let me go on her page just to see, more stuff. I went on the page, and when I told you, the first picture I saw was this man proposing to the girl. When I say I was heartbroken, is an understatement. I gave myself breakfast chop without being served breakfast. You understand? I literally gave myself breakfast without being served. Can you imagine? And one thing I really learned about that is, and from that moment, that's when I was stopped really romanticizing an interaction I have with any guy, or if I meet someone, unexpected way, I stopped thinking, okay, maybe it's my husband. Like I had to learn the hard way. And one thing I also know about men is when a man is into you, when he's interested, you don't need to say anything. He will pursue you. He will chase after you. You don't need to do the chasing. That was my story, and that's a common theme that I've seen with Christian girls, where we romanticize. You know, maybe you meet a guy on an unusual way. Maybe normally you meet a guy, I don't know, when you go out, but this time a guy slid in your DM, is your type, and automatically you think, this must be my husband. This must be God speaking to me. You know, this must be God speaking to me, and that's not the case at all. Obviously, it's different for everybody, but I'm just saying that it's something that I've realized that quite a few of us are guilty. I think for me, at the stage that I'm at, I've gone back to the beginning. I've literally gone back to the beginning of, you know what, God gave us free will to choose who we want. Yes, God can choose for you if you want him to choose for you. You can hand it over to him. But at the same time, he's given us the free will to choose for ourselves, and he's given us the guideline in choosing for ourselves in terms of, is he kind? Can he provide for you? Can he provide for you and himself? Can he be a leader? Can you submit to his leadership? Do you trust his leadership? So there's guidelines on how to choose right. Not to say that people don't change. People definitely change. Things happen in life. People go through grief, and that can affect a marriage. And you know, a lot can go wrong. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just saying that sometimes we just need to take it back to the beginning. We just need to reel it back. So all I'm saying is, from my experience, from what I've seen, we need to do our due diligence. We need to stop assuming that any guy that comes around during a certain season is our partner, because because there are counterfeits out there. So we need to be careful. But I know there's other parts to it where a woman genuinely feels like that's the husband. She's prayed, she's fasted, she's had dreams, she's had prophecies from people that will say that's your husband. Then my thing is, what is going wrong? Why is that despite having all of that, things still goes wrong? Like, what is happening? Is it that the devil is fighting harder to ruin marriages? Is it that people are just not patient to work on marriage anymore? Or honestly, I'm genuinely just confused. Like, if you have the answer, please let me know, because I'm actually just confused. Like, what is happening? Like, I was watching another lady a couple of months ago. She was just talking about, you know, how she met a guy. It was someone that she's known all her life, but she just never like entertained him or anything like that. So eventually, she kept praying, she kept, you know, fasting and everything, and God kept saying, that's her husband, that's her husband. And again, she didn't tell anybody. And I think, I can't remember if it was her mom or sister, someone in her family had a dream as well and said, oh, this particular person is your husband. A pastor saw a prophecy and said, that's her husband. And the guy came himself and tell her how he felt about her. So, you know, she continued to pray back. She said she was never into him to begin with, but because of the prophecy, because of whatever, you know, she started to entertain the idea. They started dating, they got married. You know, she had all these beautiful stories and how, you know, now she even loved him more than before, blah, blah, blah. And after the video, I don't know, so I was like, let me just check her other videos just to see, you know, where they are, if they're making it through. Literally, the next video I saw was, oh, my husband left me. I said, what? And to me, I'm like, okay, in that kind of situation, she was minding her business. She was fasting. She was praying. She had a dream that he was her husband. Her sister had a dream. Her pastor, there was a prophecy, you know, given to her. She didn't tell anybody or anything. She didn't say she liked the guy, nothing like that. So that kind of situation, I'm like, was it God? Was it not God? Was it the desire of her heart? Was it the devil just like confusing her? Or the guy just lost his way? Like, I don't know. I just have a lot of questions. Like, I don't know. So if anybody has the answer, please comment down below, because honestly, I'm legit confused and I'm legit concerned for the Christian community. I'm concerned for the Christian marriages. Like, I think this year alone, I've heard about at least 4 Christian marriages that ended in divorce. And it's really sad to hear. It's really sad to see. It wasn't like, you know, domestic thingy or anything like that. I mean, some were cheating. Some situation was because of cheating. But some, to be honest, I don't know the details. So the other ones, I don't know the details. But what do you think is happening in the Christian marriages? Is it that people are just choosing wrong, but they're not shining their eyes? Or is it that people are just ready for marriage, but not, or ready for wedding, they're not ready for the marriage and what it takes, to make a marriage work? Or, yeah, I don't know.